Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the HermitCraft FTB server. Yeah guys, welcome back. So guys, I'm hanging out here in my void world and there's no land around. I'm scared. I'm trapped in the middle of nowhere. Just kidding. Actually, I'm up here so far high in the sky that you can't see my base down below, but here we go, falling like a rock. Air brakes. Yeah guys, so I was here looking at some things. And I don't know if everybody's seen this before, but a while ago we set up this mob trap right here that uses blaze. And it'll spawn some blaze and they'll go through our Mistcraft portal. They'll all end up over here. They'll get killed by some grinders on the ground and that's all well and good. One thing I haven't shown for a little bit though is if we, maybe not that one, maybe this one. Okay, if we break this block and we flip this magic lever here. And then we come up, we get a few blaze spawning, thanks to the Rotary Craft spawner controller. So yeah, think of this. Imagine this spawning wither skeletons in the Nether. I think that's what I want to work on today. That sounds really awesome, but we're going to do something slightly different. We're not necessarily going to use a room for grinders that's going to kill them all. Let me go and turn this off. We really don't need any more blaze going. I think what I want to do, and actually I'm going to turn the sounds back on. I had them off just because of that hissing sound from the power suit armor. What I think I'm going to do is utilize bedrock tools. We've seen this bedrock sword. This thing has sharpness 5 and looting 5 on it. And we saw when we killed a wither skeleton before with this thing that it dropped multiple wither skeleton skulls. So I'm thinking if we combine something like this crazy spawner device with a mechanism to kill the wither skeletons with the bedrock swords, we're going to have a ridiculous amount of coal and a ridiculous amount of wither skulls, and it's just going to be ridiculously awesome. So that's what I want to do today. But before we get to that, there's some other things in the Nether that we should look at. That's the wrong one. That's the one back to the base. Also, I need to make a book. In fact, we should do I have an unused... What the heck? What the heck? What's going on? Okay, that was really weird. I was wearing bottles and things like that. Something messed up. But yeah, I should really change my warp book from my island. Instead of going here, it should go over to the Nexus area that Slip had made. Yeah, what I was going to do is I was going to look in here and see if we had any unlinked linking books. These are all intralinking and they have negative effects. These are already linked. I think... Wait, what was this one? Oh, that was the original book for my base. Okay, let's go ahead and make a link panel. Just need a piece of paper. We'll go ahead and do this while we're at it. So we will do that. There's a link panel. I also need to go back to the base real quick and grab a piece of leather. Leather. Yep, one of you. Put you and you together. Awesome. Okay, so we will go ahead and link that. Oh, I did it! Without even looking, I did it again. Okay, let's get out of that age. That was my Nether age. Okay, let's go to the overworld. Ah, so many warpings. And let's head over to the Nexus. We'll link that book up, and then we'll head over to the Nether real quick, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Oop, it's nighttime. Luckily, we don't really have to worry about mobs that often. As I've said many times in the past, we have the Lycanites mod installed, which kind of prevents all the other mobs from spawning, so we're pretty much safe no matter where we are. So I think if I warp to the Nexus, I'm probably going to want to warp here so I can go to Slips or my base immediately without having to turn around and stuff. So let's go and link this guy up. Boom. Awesome. So I'll just replace the book in my island world with that one, and we will be able to warp back here immediately. Okay. So that's not another portal, even though it looks like it. Yeah, this is the scariest place ever. Bring diapers. So let's head to the Nether. And yeah, when we come to the Nether, this place looks pretty much like it did on day one. Well, not necessarily day one. There was a time where Slip and I came to the Nether and we conquered our first blaze spawner. And I think before we did that, we encased this entire Nether portal with these stone slabs and cobblestone slabs. and it looks pretty junky in my opinion. This really should be fixed up a little bit. We have better building materials at this point. We use stone bricks and iron bars and other such things like that, just to make it look like we're not day one Nether noobs anymore. Also, this was to protect the portal from gas shooting at it, and since we have all the Lycanites mobs in here, preventing all the regular mobs from spawning, yeah, we don't really have to, we don't really have to worry about that too much, but I'm sure that's going to be fixed at one point or another. What is that? Oh, that's one of those floating, explodey skull things. Can I shoot it? One shot? Nice! Okay, so I want to clean this up. I want to make this look a little bit nicer. Maybe nothing super fancy. Stone bricks with iron bar windows and something just a little bit nicer in there. I might make a, whatever those things are called, the magnum torches to prevent mobs from spawning around our portal here, although I don't think it affects the Lycanites mobs. But yeah, we should figure out where we're going to put our wither spawner. I think somewhere near here. So we'll warp into the Nether. We'll have the exit right there. I think maybe having a tunnel off into another building where our wither skeleton spawner and killing device. I mean, this seems like a perfect spot right here. This little cave or cove or alcove or whatever you call it. This little spot right here I think is going to be pretty nice for that. What are you? You are iron ore. Okay, so I tell you guys what. Let me make a cut. I am going to get some building materials here. I'm going to rip this thing down, make it just a little bit nicer, maybe make a separate building over here for us to put the wither skeleton spawner action in over here, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so I am just clearing out an area. Oh, hillfish. I am clearing out an area here. Die. Where we can expand to and making this thing a little bit nicer. I start using the chisel mod with a little bit of regular smooth stone, and I am using, what is this stuff called? I guess I can hover over this one. Disordered stone bricks. We have a bunch of different types of stone that we can use here. We can do the chisel, the mossy, or lots of different things. This stone snake body, I haven't tried this. It sounded interesting. I was thinking maybe we could do a pattern if this is a connected texture like I was thinking. Oh yeah, look at that. They do connect. That is awesome. So yeah, we could do some kind of a crazy little pattern with that since these all connect. And it looks like this one up front must be the head of it. Actually, I'm not sure. That definitely didn't change. Is there like a stone snake body head texture or block that we can use? Poison stone brick? Poison stone? Does that hurt you? I'm curious now. No? Maybe it hurts mobs? I don't know. It sounds like something called poison stone brick would hurt you, but that apparently does not. So let's check this out again. Yeah, there's the ordnance stone panels. We've seen that. I use those a lot. This one doesn't really look like it has much of a texture to it. But yeah, I tried like the stone bricks in a fancy arrangement and these disordered stone panels. Neither of those really look that great. This distorted stone bricks looked alright. There's a few other types that we could do, but yeah, I just went with those anyway. So yeah, so that's what I'm using the floor to make the floor out of. Go and get rid of the snake. We might set this up in some kind of a pattern later. I don't know, it seems like a cool idea. Oh, did I mine those in different... Yeah, that's 15 and this one's 12. Interesting. Oh, did I break it? Now these things aren't usable. Oh no, I'm probably going to have to break those using a non-soak touch pick or something. Okay, well I'll just stick those out of my inventory over here for now. Interesting. Alright, so yeah, I'm just clearing out a little bit of a space here so we can use our builder's wand and extend this out just a little bit more. We'll have like some walking room, and yeah, I think this is going to be a little bit better once we get this thing expanded and looking nicer. Alright guys, so let me do a little bit more building here and I will bring you back in just a little bit. So I got to building and one thing led to another, and yeah, I got too late to continue recording. So I'm on for the next day now on this project. I've made a lot of progress, and you know, as I was building, Slipgator came on and I showed him what I was working on and he was like, oh, that's so awesome, and he wanted to help. So we ended up changing some things around, and one of those things we had to change was moving the Nether portal. It kind of ended up being in the middle of the room when we're all said and done, so we swapped it out for a HermitCraft portal. Now, where we wanted to put the Nether portal, it's kind of funny. It ended up putting us way over here, close to where Maryland's base is. Yeah, right here. This is where the Nether portal spawned. Maryland's base is way over here, who hasn't been on the server for quite some time. But yeah, so, you know, it's still within the village area, but it's kind of in an out-of-the-way spot. So we couldn't really hook up the Nether portals the way we wanted to, so we swapped it out for the HermitCraft portals, which is pretty cool. And we made it look almost exactly the same as this one. This one goes to the Quarry Age. This one goes to the Nether. We really should label it since they both basically look exactly the same now. But yeah, let's head through, and I'll show you what we did. Oh yeah, this is awesome, isn't it? So we're still using the stone bricks, the chisel mod bricks. I think that was smooth stone that I used from the chisel mod. Another texture from the chisel mod for the regular stone. I think when you put stone in the chisel, it converts it to stone bricks because that's what the block type is that you can convert it back into as a regular stone brick. But what I really like is this lava stone ceiling. It's got a little animated texture, and then it puts off these awesome glowy particle bits, which I think adds so much atmosphere. I didn't know it did this at the time when I decided to, you know, make these blocks. And to make these is just a bucket of lava surrounded by smooth stone. So 8 smooth stone plus a bucket of lava, I think makes you 16 of these, or it might be just 8. I can't remember, but these look so awesome, don't they? And then all the little particle effects, yeah, that really adds a lot. Well, Slipgator came by, like I was saying, and he was helping me build, and we were kind of figuring out what we wanted to do for the walls. And there was a Nether bloodwood tree right here that had been kind of partially harvested before. I think this is where he got most of the bloodwood from. And we used that for these little panels just to give it some accent, and these little strips and all sorts of stuff. I used a chisel mod for these iron bars, kind of gave it a chain link fence look. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. So yeah, these lava stones on the top, they kind of make the particles, but they don't go anywhere. It's really cool when they're used for a ceiling because they drop down. So yeah, I'm glad I decided to use that for the ceiling instead of the floor, so we get this whole particle effect thing flying all over the place. Kind of reminds me of like snow. You want to catch one on your tongue or whatever. Oh, that'd probably burn, wouldn't it? So yeah, we got nature bloodwood crafting tables here, and then the bloodwood planks right next to it. And then we have a little spot here for people to put their books to warp back to the overworld. I put some magnum torches here. We really don't need to, but, you know, symmetry. And these things work with the micro blocks. So we got a micro block cover here and that strip down there. And this magnum torch fits right in there easily. So, yeah, that's really cool. So you can actually probably hide that in a wall and completely surround that with stone brick, or I'm sorry, just whatever covers you wanted to. And you'd never even know the magnum torch was there. So, yeah, that's something that, you know, would make builds look really great. So I dug out a pit here. This is where the skeleton spawner is going to be. And I made it similar to what we did in the overworld, except I used a lava brick for the walls, obviously. We got the portal frame around the bottom, which has not been hooked up yet. And yeah, that's about as far as I got. So what we need to do is get an interlinking book down there so it'll warp the skeletons to a spot so they'll be killed. But before we do that, we got to figure out where we're going to put that spot to kill them. So what I want to do is hook up some autonomous activators. Let's actually head back to the overworld. I want to hook up some autonomous activators that are going to swing some bedrock swords. And I don't know how many we need, and I don't know how effective this is going to be. This could just be a failed project. But I have collected enough bedrock ingots where we can create 8 bedrock swords. So that's 2 per side. So if we have all 4 sides with the autonomous activators, we can have 2 of them per side. So yeah, I think that's going to be enough damage. I can't even remember what the recipe is for the bedrock sword. I know it's 2 ingots, and I don't remember if it's a stick or if it is one of those shaft units or what. Ah, it is a shaft unit. Okay, so we need some of this HSLA steel, so that shouldn't be too bad. And we're going to have, what is it, a total of 8? I think that's all we need. So let's make these bedrock swords. Yep, and then I had one extra ingot left over. So yeah, that's a lot of bedrock swords. These things take forever to mine the bedrock dust, and then you have to put in the induction smelter, I believe. Yeah, so it takes a while to get that stuff, but I did all this off camera just to help speed things up a little bit. So I also have the autonomous activators. These already crafted. I made more than what I needed, but we can always expand these out if we need more later on. Wait a second, didn't I? Hold on a second. Is that 12? Oh, you know what? We needed a few more. I'm sorry. I thought we had more than enough. We need 16 of those, don't we? Oh, no. We only have 8 of these. I'm sorry. I am just derping right now. I'm like, what the heck? Yeah, we only need 8 of those. We have 8 swords. We're good to go. For some reason, I was still thinking we needed 2 because of the ingots for the sword. Whatever. Anyway, we are good to go on that stuff. So the next step is to go back into the Nether. Go back into the Nether over here and figure out what we're going to do for the killing area. We're going to figure out where we're going to put that and get that situated so we can hook up a book that'll warp whatever spawns in here over to the killing area. So let me go ahead and work on that. It's just going to be a bit of digging. Need to use my builder's wand and place some blocks probably and tidy everything up, and we'll be right back. Here we go. So the pit's been dug and I lined the room with the lava stone. Yeah, that stuff's so good. So I have 8 autonomous activators down there, and they all have the bedrock swords inside, but they're all set to this right click, so I should be able to come in here and be fine. We got to figure out what we're going to do for the drops, and we also need to properly contain this because I believe the skeletons can come over here, and I've seen it before when we're using the Mistcraft books. They can teleport up a little bit, so you might be able to jump up and out of this thing. So we're going to have to make this like a 1x1 tube all the way up to the ceiling just to make sure they don't escape. But yeah, I'm kind of curious how this is going to work. So I'm going to set this to left click. I want to jump in here myself and just kind of see what kind of damage we're talking about. Now, I know when you get hurt in Minecraft, there's like a split-second delay where you're invulnerable, you turn red or whatever, and then nothing else can hurt you. I'm not sure how much damage this is going to do, but okay, so that's really not doing much to me. Alright, so I'm curious though, if we put an enemy in there that doesn't have power armor, how much damage that's going to do, because this is plus a 12 attack damage, so that should be doing a significant amount. So I think what we need to do, let's go ahead and turn this back off so I can get in there, and we need to get our linking book hooked up. I still have to make an intro linking book. I have not done that. We need to figure out what we're going to do for the drops. I'm kind of thinking that we will remove this bottom stone down there. Are all these turned off? Can I get in here and not take damage? Yeah, I think we'll remove this bottom stone down here and put a vacuum hopper, and we will have those items pipe up into like probably a barrel system. I'm not entirely sure what all the different drops are that these wither skeletons do drop. I know they'll drop coal. I know they'll drop the wither skeleton skulls. They might drop necrotic bones. They might drop those red hearts from Tinker's Construct. There's a few other drops they could drop. So we're going to want to have like an overflow or excess item storage for that. I think we'll end up putting the storage system right here in this wall or somewhere around here between the two areas. So this is where they're going to spawn on that side. They're going to teleport over here, be killed over here, and then we'll have the storage in between. I think that'll work out the best. Alright guys, so I got a few more things to do. We got to get a vacuum hopper down there, run some pipe, get some storage set up. I need to make that interlinking book and get that in place. Yeah, let's do that, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I got some stuff hooked up here. I put the little tube in for the mobs to go in here so they don't jump out. We have a vacuum hopper down at the bottom with one of these hollow lava stone covers around the impulse item duct that it dumps into. I've tried putting a lot of blocks down there just so you can't see down below into the nether rack. I think I've done a fairly good job. These covers right here are kind of transparent. They don't really look like the other blocks as much. You can see how there's like see-through bits of it, and there's not a lot of lava stuff happening here. So yeah, it's slightly different. Whoops. So I've tried to do my best to get all that stuff in there so it looks fine. Go and patch that back up. I guess the next step is to test this out and make sure everything's going to work. So first things first, we have this all hooked up over here. This should be ready to go. And what I want to do is come down here and get our book in place. Let's turn this thing on. So I have the interlinking book here, which warps us from this nether portal over to the other side. Let's get this plugged up as well while we are here. Boop, boop. Yep, so the skeletons are going to spawn. They're going to immediately fall through here, end up right on top of the vacuum hopper with all these autonomous activators here. These are going to start doing damage to them, and then when they die, their drops are going to fall down into the vacuum hopper. There's the impulse item ducts, which takes the items over into our collection area. Get out of here. And the collection area here, we just have a couple of better barrels and a diamond chest for now. I'll probably be changing this up once I know for sure all the different drops these wither skeletons are gonna drop. Now I know we're also going to, yeah, there's some of my stuff. I know we're also going to be getting regular bones, coal, wither skeleton skulls. We might get the necrotic bones, we might get the red hearts. I'm not entirely sure everything we're gonna get, but yeah, I do know this is not the final setup. And then this lever right here controls a, what is this stuff called, the red net cable. Yeah, I have this red net cable which runs down over and connects to this tesseract on the other side of the wall. We might be able to see that if I break through here. Yeah, there we go. There's a better view of what's going on down here. So impulse item duct goes from below. There's fire here. Goes from below here, carries the items all the way over, up and into our barrels. Oh, I'm getting a little crazy with this power suit armor. It goes all the way up here into the barrels in the chest. And then we have this red net cable which comes over and turns the power on and off to this tesseract, and this has the redstone control high. It'll turn on. One more thing, I guess I need to put the block right here. Okay, there we go. And then I don't know if it matters, but I have been setting these things to cable mode only on the certain sides where I don't want to connect. They seem to want to connect to these lava stone. And another thing, you cannot place a torch on the lava stone. I found that out for some reason. I don't know why that's a thing, but it is. So I think that's pretty much it. How did I get back down here? I don't remember. I busted a block somewhere. Is it right here? Come on, give me up, give me up, give me up. Okay, I'm out. Right, so let's plug that hole back up. Awesome. So this guy right here, this lever, turns that on, everything starts going, everything is happy. So the next step is, we need to come over here before we do anything else and turn these guys on, so they're going to start left clicking and attacking whatever comes into this chamber. I think I need to plug up the hole still up above. We will go ahead and do that in a moment. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if this is going to be enough to handle the amount of mobs that is going to produce over there. It probably isn't, and I might have to introduce some other form of killing mechanism. I might have to put a couple of MFR grinders over here or something to help out with the load, but first thing I want to do is turn this on, see what happens. I don't know if this is going to work. I really hope it does. Okay, so all those should be left clicking. If I jump down here, I'm going to take damage. Absolutely. Okay, so let's plug this up. A couple of blocks there. Okay, I think we should be good to put the spawner in. Now, as soon as I put the spawner down, it's probably going to start spawning mobs right away. We want to make sure this thing's off, which it is. And then I need to get in there and mess with the spawner controller a bit and set the rate on this thing. So, let's put the flight control on. Come down just a little bit. Shift, place that guy. So we should be spawning wither skeletons. If I can get out of here, that'd be nice. Yeah, we should be spawning wither skeletons just by having that in there, although it might be bright enough where it won't spawn them. That's something else to consider. Looks like the thing is spinning faster, which means it should be spawning anytime now. There goes one. Did it die immediately? I see the blinky things down there. It might have died immediately. Huh, I wasn't expecting that to happen. So if that's the way that's going to work, this could potentially handle the load. I mean, we can kill, what is that, 8 at a time? All right, I'm feeling fairly confident to test this out. There's another one. They die so fast I can't even walk over here and see them dead. Oh, look at that. We got a wither skeleton skull already. Anything in this one? Nope. Oh, that is good. Okay, so very promising. We just got a little bit more coal over here and 2 more wither skeleton skulls. Oh my goodness. We are going to have so many skulls. Okay, I am ready to go full on the test for this thing. So let's go and plug that up. Okay, so I'm going to turn that on, and then I'm going to try and jump down here and mess with this controller because I need to change the time. And you can only do that, I think, when this thing's turned on. So let's... Uh-oh. So what's happening over here? Oh my goodness. I don't know if that's handling it. It looks like it might be. You know what? I'm sorry. Let me turn down the game sounds. This is amazing. So we got 9 skulls here. I'm expecting to see this thing get stupidly high really quick. Look at that. We already got over a stack of coal. 13 skulls. What's happening over here? Anything? Oh, look at all this stuff we're getting. Bones. Okay, we got some stuff to figure out here. Special Thief's Arrow Flinger. Interesting. Oh, 25 wither skeleton skulls already. Okay, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, I'm feeling lag. Let's turn this off. Something's going on. Why are these guys, like, attacking each other? I don't know. There's so many... Oh, wow. 2,000 entities. Okay, I might have made a mistake. I don't know why those guys have spawned over here. That's not supposed to happen. And this thing's turned off, but yeah, it has to spawn a few more before they all go away. So yeah, there's still a problem here that we got to figure out. I don't... Oh, they're spawned on top of the spawner controller, I think. This is so awesome. So yeah, as soon as the engine runs out of power, these guys should stop spawning, and we might get rid of the lag. So something I'm going to have to add on here is like... Oh, I don't know, maybe a push button instead of a lever. So it... Oh, Jevon's on. Oh, I didn't even see that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I am getting 2 frames a second right now. Alright, I tell you guys what, let me come back when this thing's done. Yeah, just give me a few minutes here. Oh my goodness, guys. So I just had to use the kill all command because, yeah, even though I turned that off, there were still skeletons here shooting arrows. There were up to 7,000 entities here. That is a pretty big problem. I mean, if there's only a couple coming over, 1 or 2 skeletons, not a big deal. But we only ended up with 27 skulls, which seems a little odd to me. We got a bunch of other stuff over here, which is awesome. But we had some skeletons that just would not die. And I don't know if these are skeletons that had like a regen effect or whatever, but I think we're going to need a secondary kill mechanism. I think this will be our primary. We'll flip the switch, it'll come over here and die, and when we're done, we'll flip another switch, and it will turn on an array of grinders just to get rid of anything that's left over. That's probably what we're going to have to do, because just trying to wait it out did not work. Yeah, Jevon's on right now. He was streaming, and he said he couldn't break any blocks or anything. I felt pretty bad, so I just had to get rid of all those mobs. It's kind of interesting, though, that there's experience down there. I'm not sure what that's from. I don't know if that's from the autonomous activators killing the mobs, or if that's from me doing that kill all command. But yeah, that got rid of them all. Oh my goodness. So this thing works pretty good. It did what I expected it to do. We got a bunch of wither skeleton skulls now, some coal, and other stuff. So yeah, I think what I'm going to end up doing, like I said, is have to get a bunch of grinders over here for a secondary kill. Maybe I'll have it so when the lever is flipped on, the grinders turn off, and when the lever's off, the grinders turn on. That way, you know, whatever's over there will just automatically be killed. But yeah, that's something probably for another episode. Another thing I'd like to do is I'm currently using Tesseract power from my base, which is using that solar. I think what I'd like to do is get rid of the Tesseract and have this whole thing powered from itself, like from the coal that it generates. So that might be something we'll try in the future. I don't know. I mean, we could also try using these bones and making the biofuel or something like that to power this. We'll have to see. But again, that's something for another episode. For now, it seems like we have a success. It did exactly what I wanted to do. We made a pretty awesome nether room. Yeah, I'm happy about this. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on this episode if you liked it. And we'll see you next time.